Confirming your dates is 100% important, okay, because it will allow you to verify ahead of time that your date is actually coming to meet you, okay? And also, in the event that she needs to cancel or reschedule, you'll either be able to try to help fix whatever problem is there if it's fixable, or you'll have plenty of notice to be able to set another date, schedule something else to do in that time instead of wasting it, okay? So it'll save you a lot of time, and it'll also make her even more likely to come through, okay? Many guys don't do this. They don't confirm their dates, and it leads to a lot of problems, and their flake rates just go through the roof, okay? So let's talk about some of the reasons why girls even flake, right? If she doesn't hear from you for a week, she might think that you're flaking on her, or that you're no longer interested, or that you forgot, and so she makes other plans. She just, for whatever reason, assumes plans are off. Okay, she could also become overwhelmed with any number of things that happen in her life. She could be at work, and then all of a sudden her boss just dumps a whole bunch of things on her desk and says, have it done by the end of the day. And then before you know it, like, she completely forgot about your date. And even though she liked you, things happen. Okay, she could also had something come up last minute. It could have been an emergency, and now she has to cancel. Her friend got into a car accident, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my God, let me help my friend," and now she's canceling on you because her brain was like hijacked. Okay, she also could be running late, and you don't want to end up sitting there in the restaurant or bar just waiting for her. You want to be able to plan accordingly. Also, sometimes you've probably seen this. Sometimes a girl will have second thoughts about coming to meet you, and you got to be able to give her that extra reassurance that it's a good idea, and that basically remind her, oh yeah, you like me. Don't worry, we like each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so if you follow a proper text sequence, handling all of these issues won't be a problem. And this sequence that I'm going to lay out for you is virtually going to eliminate all flakes, okay? Especially if you ran a solid interaction when you first met up with her. Okay, and it's very important for you to realize that. I don't want you to think that you could just run a very weak interaction, not show her that much attention, not show her you like her, and then think you could do all the texting and then she'll come out. Okay, it's not a replacement, it's a supplement. Okay, run a good interaction, then run a good, follow the sequence, and then you'll have a good date as well. Okay, so first, I want to talk about like the first mistake that guys make outside of not confirming their dates to begin with, is they confirm them directly, right? They confirm them directly, which isn't so obvious that it's a mistake, but it is. So they'll ask questions like, hey, are we on for Thursday? Or am I seeing you Thursday? And the problem here is it kind of presupposes that your plans are tentative or that they're cancelable. If she has something else going on, she could just flake on you as if you're not important. And you have to understand, you don't want to approach it that way, because these are legit concrete plans, and you cleared your schedule for this, right? You could have made other plans, but you held on to them to see her, and you want to see her. So make it pretty clear. We don't want her to feel like you're not committed or she could cancel. Okay, we want her to commit. And that's why what we're going to do is we're actually going to send what we call indirect confirmations, where we're going to stay in touch with her and stay on her radar and basically keep reminding her that the date is still set, and we're going to do it in a way without coming off needy or annoying. Okay, so this way she'll have multiple chances to let you know if she's running late or if she has to reschedule, and she'll be able to do that ahead of time, and we'll take it from there, right? At least you'll have the information to work with. Okay, and we're going to do this several times leading up from the moment that you schedule the date all the way until the moment she actually arrives on the date. So let's say that you're meeting up with her in a few days from now. Okay, if you're following like a typical date structure, you probably met her one day, you're meeting up with her a few days later. So let's say you met her on Sunday, or you set the date on Sunday. You're probably meeting her a few days later, like Wednesday or Thursday. So let's just say that your date was set on Sunday, you're meeting her on Thursday. You want to text her on Tuesday, something like that, right? On Tuesday, just a little bit in between seeing her, a sequence basically staying in touch with her, okay? So for example, you could text her something like, send her a picture of your nice view that you have from your apartment and say, how gorgeous is this view? I can't wait to show it to you in person. Okay, basically alluding that you would love to show her, something at your place. So if the date goes well, you could even bring her there. You could also send her a picture of really delicious food and saying, I got some really good dinner for us. Hurry over, cutie, winky face, right? So basically treating her as if she's your girlfriend. You could send her a picture of your pool and say, we're totally jumping in. I hope you have a really cute bikini. Make sure to bring it over, right? Something like that. Like, just staying in touch with her in a flirtatious way. Now, no matter what happens, you always want to make sure to text her the day before, because this is kind of like the final stretch where you're going to be able to run a very solid date. Okay. And this is kind of where a lot of flaking happens is, things start to come up leading up to the date, and you kind of need to make sure to let her know, oh, I'm still showing up, I'm excited, and so on. So the evening before the date, you want to message her around 7 p.m. and say something like, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, winky face. This is my favorite text, and she'll almost always respond with, I'm excited too, or I know I'm excited, right? And to which you could respond, I'll see you at 7, or like, do you know how to get there, right? Okay, and if you're meeting her at your home, you could even say, you know how to get here, right? Okay, so don't overcomplicate it. These are very playful and yet simple texts that work extremely well and better than anything else I found to stay in touch with her and still make sure the plans are on board. Now, don't be afraid to show your excitement also, okay? It's really going to help with the reassurance that the date is going to be fun and that you're excited to be with her and she could expect to have a great time. Okay, it's not needy, it's not desperate. A lot of guys wonder about that. They're scared to show that enthusiasm, but that's what it is. It's enthusiasm, okay? So lots of men worry about this. Do not worry about it. Trust me on that, okay? Now, whether she responds or not, make sure to text her once again in the morning around 10 or 11 a.m. And my favorite text that I got from a friend is it time for drinks yet? With a tongue sticking out emoji. Okay, it's a lot of times you're going to get a really great responses from that, like, oh my god, no, I wish. Okay, I can't wait to get out of work, I wish. Okay, an alternative is you could say, let's say it's an ice cream date or something, just to give you a variety. You could just say, oh my god, I'm so ready for that ice cream, I could almost taste it. Now, if she responds positively by this point, you're pretty much good to go and she's almost definitely coming out on the date. Okay, but if she still hasn't responded yet, you're still going to want to keep texting her leading up to the date. So you want to send another one, let's say 3 to 4 hours before the date. Let's say your date's at 7 p.m. Okay, you'll message her around like 3 p.m. Okay, and you'll say, hey, how are you doing time-wise? Okay, simple. Do not send, are we still on? Okay, you need to treat the plans like they are still on. So saying, hey, are you running on time? Simple as that. Do not overcomplicate it. Now, if she confirms at this point, you're just going to probably get a text from her, something like, hey, yeah, sorry, it's been a really busy day. I'll see you in a bit, smiley face. Okay, it's like a very, very common type of text to get back. Okay, and if she can't make it for whatever reason, sometimes if they haven't texted you so far, it's like they were so busy with finals or work and they just didn't have a chance, or they were hoping to free up and it seems like they won't be able to. So see if you can fit yourself in their schedule, like, well, what if we meet a little bit later or whatever. Try. It's hard to give you advice on this when I don't know what she's going to say, but worst case scenario, just tell her, no worries, when are you free over the next few days? And then you're going to pick the day that works, pick the time that works, and just tell her to meet you back where the plans were already set for, which I remember should be in your neighborhood. Now, if she still doesn't answer, you're going to continue with the next steps, okay? But realize she's probably flaking, okay? And it's probably that like she freaked out, she panicked, she got overwhelmed, and first dates can be overwhelming. But still, you should not panic because we still have a few texts that are really, really helpful to get them out, even if at this point they didn't answer. So around 2 hours before meeting up with her, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, you're going to update her that you're getting ready to head over. Okay, so you'll say something like, hey, just left work, gonna shower and head over, text me when you're on the way, smiley face. Or just finished up with the gym, gonna shower and head over, text me when you're on the way. Okay, you still want to make it as if you're still going and you expect that the date is still on. Okay, so for women who've already confirmed, this is going to allow them, you're gonna send this no matter if they confirmed or didn't. Okay, but this is going to allow women who did confirm to stay in touch with you so you know if they're running late and so on. It just allows you to continue staying in touch. Now, if she hasn't yet confirmed, this tells them that you're still kind of showing up, right? That you're still going to be there, and sort of pushes them to show up too. It's like putting helpful pressure on them to not flake and to actually commit to the plan. Okay, it's a trick that I actually learned from top producing sales teams, and it works really, really well. I tested it out. It's phenomenal. Okay, so just treat it as if you're still going and communicate that to her. Now, if she's concerned with you at some point already, then just make sure to stay in touch with her about her time of arrival. So say, hey, so what's your ETA or something like that. But either way, if she responded or not, you're still going to want to send her a message around 30 minutes before saying, heading over in a few, are you almost there? Or are you, or if she's coming over, be like, hey, I'm ready when you are you almost here? Okay, so just make sure to be in touch with her about the time. A lot of times women are late for the first date, and you don't want to just be sitting there like an idiot, twiddling your thumbs and you're like, what the hell do I do for the next 45 minutes? Okay, so just stay in touch with her. If you're not meeting her at home, relax at your home and just walk over to wherever you're meeting her whenever she's whatever time she's timed for. Okay, now if she confirmed the date and she showed up, awesome, because now you have a date, you're good to go, and just have fun. Okay, if she hasn't yet confirmed, you're still going to text her as if you're going to the venue, okay, and putting more pressure on her to show up. And it's kind of like a little sneaky trick, but it works really, really well. And the reason why it's sneaky is because you're basically pretending that you're heading over when you're not really. You're going to just go on with whatever you have planned or whatever your backup plan is, and just be ready to go if she is ready. Okay, and sometimes you could even make her wait at the venue, but for yourself to get ready, at that point she's probably pretty late anyway, so making her wait 20 minutes is not the worst thing in the world if she just made you wait a half an hour. Okay, and that's why in the videos about setting dates I mentioned that you really do want to meet them in your neighborhood, because it really does help with the confirmation process. It makes it easier to tell them, hey, I'm already there, even if you're not. This way you could just walk over easily and you don't have to do like a 45-minute commute. Okay, so there's a lot of advantages to meeting her in your neighborhood. Now, at this point, some women are really going to start coming through, even if they were, likely to flake, and they'll just be late. Okay, and this is because they start to feel like really, really huge jerks for letting their anxiety to get in the way and actually about to stand you up. It's really not cool to do that to somebody. And so you'll text her at the time of the date, and you're going to say, hey, I just got here and ordered some wine. Are you almost here? Right? And just treat it like you're already there. So she's like, damn, he's already there. I better get up and go. Okay? If she feels like you didn't go, it's way easier to flake. Okay? So to give you an example, it's almost like if you were going to flake on your friend to do a trip to Miami, and then he's like, hey, I already booked my ticket. You're like, damn, I have to go. I told him I was. Now, if she still doesn't answer around 15 minutes after she's supposed to be there, you're going to text her, hey, are you almost there? The wine is just sitting here. Okay, or hey, are you almost here? The wine is just sitting. Okay, and at that point you'll start to still see a lot more conversion. Like a lot more girls will start to answer you. And basically, if she doesn't answer by 30 minutes or so, it's likely she's not coming through at that point. It's pretty safe to say that. But what you're going to do is you're going to send her a voice message, and it's going to say something along the lines of like, hey, I was just sitting there for like 30 minutes and you never showed up, so I drank your glass of wine. I hope you're okay. I hope nothing bad happened or anything like that. It would be really, really horrible to hear that something bad happened. But anyway, just let me know. I still really do want to see you, and maybe we could just plan for another day this week. So just, let me know when you get this message, and I guess I'll speak to you soon. And when you send a message like that, remember, it's a voice message. So use if it's WhatsApp, just hit the voice recorder. If it's iMessage, same thing. Okay, and then send it over so she could hear your voice. And make sure you sound really, really concerned and like you're worried, right? Because why else would she flake, right? It's not that she didn't like you. You can't treat it like she didn't like you. You have to show that you care and that whoa, if you didn't come, something bad must have happened. Okay? So when she responds, and if you did it right, they almost always will respond, then you need to set a boundary against the flaking. Okay? And what I mean by that is, unless something really serious happened where she couldn't text you, right? She lost her phone or whatever, not responding is 100% not acceptable. Okay? You had plans, and she, at the very least, if she wasn't going to come, could have been an adult and said, hey, look, I'm really not interested, or hey, I won't make it, or whatever. But instead, she just wasted your time. And your time wasn't totally wasted because you never went to the date, but you could have done other things. You could have planned with another girl or your friend or whatever. And now you're kind of scrambling at the last minute. And we're going to talk about that in the next sections. But for now, either you're going to have a date that came through and just a really, really great time. You're going to run that thing and it's going to go really, really well. Or you have a number where you messed up somewhere and now you kind of go back and try to recover it. Okay, and this is why I always say you really, really want to run a very solid interaction, because you can't rely on the texting to do all your work. Okay, you need to build the interaction, the connection, where she would almost feel really like way worse about flaking on you, to the point where she never did it to begin with. Okay, and it's also why I really recommend having backup plans for your date. So maybe you like to read books, have that in mind, have maybe just other activities you could do, because sometimes they will flake. And you don't want to be there sitting like, oh my God, well, she flicked. What do I do now? And then you're even more upset at her. And then it's even harder to send that voice message showing that you're concerned about her, okay? And the last thing you want to do, by the way, is get mad at her at that point. Because at this point, what she needs is understanding. Once you show her that understanding, she's going to feel way more comfortable with you. And then from there, you could set that boundary like, hey, by the way, I was really, really understanding. So you got to be understanding about my situation. Next time, if you're not going to come, you have to text me, okay? That's not fair to me. All right. So I hope that makes sense. This whole thing was pretty step by step. So I really hope you took some notes, and I'll see you in the next video.